Hey everybody, and welcome to Bible class. Matthew chapter 5 is where I need your Bible open as we take another step in our exploration of the Sermon on the Mount. Can you begin reading with me in Matthew 5, verse 1, where Matthew tells us, seeing the crowds, we're talking about Jesus, went up on the mountain, and when he sat down, his disciples came to him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the, and we'll read a little bit more in just a few moments, but I want to draw your attention to this first word of the sermon, blessed. It's not only the first word of the sermon, it's the first word in the first 9 sentences of the sermon. Jesus says blessed over and over and over again from the very beginning. Clearly, he wants to draw our attention to a very important point. But what is that point? Blessed, as it's used in the Bible, isn't the same thing as happy. Being a blessed person from God's point of view doesn't depend on all of the circumstances and situations of my life being exactly the way that I want them to be. Instead, think of blessed in the way that Jesus described a servant back in Matthew chapter 25, verse 21, when he said, Well done, good and faithful servant. A blessed person is someone that God looks at and says, Well done. Well done, good and faithful servant. That's what I'm looking for. He's on the right track. She is following my lead. Well done, or blessed. The blessed person is living God's way because their heart has been aligned with God's heart, and their character is bearing fruit that honors God. And that is where Jesus takes us from the beginning of this sermon to the character of a disciple. We learned in lesson 1 of this series that a disciple is more than a student, right? More than a hearer. A disciple is someone who follows, a student who is trained to be like the teacher. So what does the character of a disciple of Jesus look like? Let's read it, and I'll kick it over to your in-person teacher for discussion. Blessed, Matthew 5, verse 3, are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. That's it. That's the beginning of Jesus's most famous sermon, the great Sermon on the Mount. The first 9 sentences all begin with this word, blessed. But I'm guessing Jesus has already surprised us. This might not be the line of verses that we would expect from the beginning of a sermon. So what did Jesus mean? Let's dig in and talk about it together. Thanks so much for being in class. Hope you have a great rest of your class and a great start to this new week.